All right. Hello, everybody. How to plan your next video using AI with my friend Mark Harbert. Mark, thank you so much for being here, brother. I'm excited.
Dude,
We're gonna have some fun today.
when Eddie Villa says, "Hey, you want to come out and share?" I'm like, I drop whatever I'm doing and figure it out because
You're awesome.
I love my buddy Eddie. And Eddie and I got to meet each other for the first time a couple months ago, and we've known each other for like what 8 years now, something like
Yeah,
that.
long time. And and we got to meet each other over at Funnel Hacking Live up in Orlando last year, and we could not have met in a louder environment.
Yeah.
That's the
What?
interesting thing to meet someone in a really loud
Yeah.
environment.
What surprised me is when I went up to Eddie, I'm like, "Hey, Eddie, how's it going?" Like, "Hey, how are you?" Like, he about a foot taller than me, but I saw him in the crowd and I ran right over. I had to give him a big old hug, man.
So our mutual friend Ray Higdon,
Yep.
you've known Ray for a long time, and how
Yeah.
is Ray about the same height as you, taller, shorter? What do you? I don't really know for sure. I've
He's a
never
little
met him in
taller
person.
than me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little taller than I am. But
So go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to
no, but
interrupt.
you're pushing what I mean, how tall are
I'm
you?
six. I'm 6'7".
6'7", yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know why I did it.
I'm
Like
five
Ray,
seven.
I
So
okay, 5'7". There you go. So I don't know why I did it, but when we were doing the call with Ray, I asked him right at the end of the call for our group because he's doing our live event just like you. And I asked him, "How tall are you, Ray?" And he said, I couldn't remember what he said, but I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a fun picture."
yeah.
and and then with you there, this is going to be great. I'm just going to have Ray here and you
Yeah.
here and the three
And
of
just
us.
be like this, like a.
Oh, should we do it that way?
Yeah, it's a
All
success
right.
grab, you know. So
All right. Well, let's get to what we're going to talk about
yeah,
today. Mark and I both share a love for video, but Mark is one of the reasons why I love video so much. And so, for if you were to figure out where the chicken and the egg is right here in this situation, Mark is definitely the one that sparked my desire and excitement for using video. And so, for those of you who don't know Mark, if you don't mind, share just a brief history about you in video and kind of catch us up to what you're doing now, so everyone knows what the amazingness they can get from you. And let's get some tips out and help some people today.
yeah. So no, I mean, for me, when I got started in online marketing back in 2008, YouTube was still like it was still kind of coming into its own. I mean, people knew YouTube was big. People were
Mm,
watching videos on YouTube, but and I was following some marketers who were really like crushing it with YouTube. And it just made sense to me fairly early on that, if you want to put yourself out there, you got to get on video and let people see who you are. It didn't mean I wasn't nervous, doesn't mean that I wasn't, nervous about it. But I do know that my background, I have a background in sports. I have a background in, extreme sports. I did a
mm,
lot of, you know,
yeah.
BMX. I did that for a long time. Still love it. Going to a bike show next week. I can't wait. It's a passion of mine, but there's a lot of discipline involved in all of those things. Wrestling is a very disciplined sport. Like,
Yeah.
and I would learn how to discipline myself. So when I knew that I had to do video, I was very nervous, very afraid of it, but that thing kicked in from all of my sports and all that stuff that I have to do the thing that I don't want to do.
Ooh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was really kind of what drove me to do it. And so when I did it and I started realizing the benefits of it, I continued to do it until, my business really took off. And I started getting better at creating videos and getting traction with them, learning how to get traction with them. But the thing was, is that I never would have gotten to where I was with video if I hadn't done the first one. So that's kind of how
Yeah.
it started for me. The very first video I ever did was like 20 takes. I totally wish I could, and I might still have it. I got to search for it, but I
Yeah.
did it on a high 8 camera.
Oh
It was
my
a
gosh, I remember those.
camcorder. It was a
Yes.
camcorder. And I might still have the tapes of that video. If I can, that would be hilarious because I did like 20 takes. and before I finally posted a video. But I just did it, and that was it.
What year was that? Do you remember what year that?
It was like 2008, 2008, probably
2008.
too early 2009, but it was somewhere around there.
I like to give people perspective on how long video has really been in the marketing world, like
Yeah.
freely for anyone, just like making movies nowadays. Like anyone can make a full length feature film nowadays, and it doesn't take millions of dollars like it used to.
Right.
And so like to give people perspective, like the very first video I did was before there was ever live streaming. But I
Yeah.
started just like you, right? But when I started, live streaming became a thing 6 months later. The very first live streaming app that I remember was Periscope.
Oh yeah.
And that place is a disaster now. But
Yeah.
Periscope was the first time where you can go live and people could join you live and watch. And I started 6 months before that. And Facebook Live wasn't even a thing yet. Still,
Yeah.
like you couldn't do
No,
what we're doing right now. And that was 2000, that was January 2015 when I did my first video. And it would be about 6 months later that Periscope became a thing. And
yeah.
then very quickly Facebook jumped on and started doing it. So just so you all understand, 2015 is not that long ago.
No.
So live broadcasting, live streaming is still very new, and we're still learning what works, what's consistently paying off, and so on, which is kind of cool. And this is why I love that we're talking about this.
Two
So
years
what
from
is it
now,
you're
video will probably morph into something else. Who knows?
probably? So what is it you're doing now that's helping people get more results with video? And then let's get to some tips because I'd really love for people to follow you.
So the biggest thing is, for me, I love live video. I think live video is such a great way to create content, interact with the audience. Like I literally got off a live video 20 minutes before I hopped on with you. And I've been spending a lot of time lately in my community, my membership community,
Mm.
pouring into them, giving them a lot of stuff. But I love live video because you can take live video and you could turn it into like a static video where you edit it and then upload it on YouTube, like as a regular video. You
Mhm.
could chop parts out of it and create shorts, short videos with it. There's so many things you can do with one video nowadays. It's crazy. You can take one video that's, let's say you do a 30-minute live, you could then chop up 5 to 10 short videos out of that based on one little saying that you said.
Yeah.
And the way AI is today is ridiculous. Like the tools are getting so smart. Like, and I mean, one of the tools that I absolutely love, and we can talk about this. It's got AI built into it. It's called Descript,
Mhm.
which is a video editing tool. And they just added a brand new feature that's like find clips for me. And I did it, and I'm like, wow, that's actually a pretty decent clip, you know. And so there's just so many tools. I mean, we're in an exciting time for AI. A lot of people are
Yeah.
nervous about it. I'm nervous about it too, but I'm also loving what I can do with it when it comes to business. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, our goal is to reach people, and the reality is that well, actually, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
So I remember somebody just told me this recently, and then was that no long form video is dead. I know you love it when people say things like that.
Oh
Long
goodness.
form is. Did you all see the eye roll? Okay. Okay. Some people say long form video is dead. I was watching this training by someone. I'm forgetting his name. I think it's Evan Carmichael. Does that name sound familiar?
I've heard the word Carmichael before, but
It's okay. That's not the point. Point is that he was talking about how YouTube especially really loves the 30-second clips, the 60-second clips, but it also loves anything over 30 minutes. They're like in between those is not so fabulous, is what I've heard.
yeah.
Has that been your experience that if you're gonna do a long video, do a really long video. If you're gonna do a short video, do a really short video. Do you kind of subscribe to that as well?
I don't believe there's any set formula for it.
Mm.
I mean, there's not. So a lot of people will always ask me like, how long should my video be? And I'm like, as long as it needs to be.
Mm.
What is the point you're trying to get across? Like if you spend 35 minutes just because you heard somebody tell you it needs to be 30 minutes or longer or 60 seconds or less, and you're getting you're chopping out the 29 minutes or the 29 minutes. That's the no-go zone. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I watch videos all the time that are 15 minutes long or 10 minutes long, or if they are answering a question or giving me content of something that I want to see, I'm going to watch it. So the I think personally, and I'm not look, I love video and it's my thing, but I'm also not the guy who relentlessly studies the algorithm to squeeze every last little piece of thing out of it. My goal has one goal: create content for human beings. And if it doesn't get the most engagement, that's fine. If it doesn't get the most views, I'm cool with that. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm just going to create something that I believe can answer a question. If people watch it or they don't watch it because it didn't have the exact right jump cut right at that moment to grab their attention and pull them in more, then, you know, I think when you get into that type of a mentality with video,
Mhm.
it really doesn't become fun anymore. And I will tell you, I've seen entrepreneurs that got into this idea of that had to be this way and it burned themselves out. I've listened to some of them that were obsessed about cutting and creating videos that had every little thing, and every video had to be that way. And then guess what? They burned themselves out. It wasn't fun anymore and they quit. I just watched a guy the other day who built up a channel to like 3 million subscribers. He basically just posted his last video, said, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. It's not fun.
It's not fun. You
Yeah.
know, there's two things that just popped in my head while you're talking about this for my strengths loving friends out there, I should say. You don't, in other words, you don't moneyball this process.
No.
Right. Okay. So for
Yeah.
those who've ever seen the movie Moneyball, go watch it. It's an awesome movie. But what we're doing here is something a little bit, what you're trying to say is you're doing something a little bit more organic,
Yeah.
less analytical. And I just pulled up
Yeah.
your strengths real quick. And it
Yeah.
just so happens that Mark's analytical strength is 31. So
There you go. There you go.
so y'all understand where Mark is coming from. All right. All right. Okay. Mark's number one strength is communication. There's nothing analytical about communication.
No.
It's what's in your heart, and the world needs to hear it because you need to say it. So Descript, y'all go check that out. Mark, I'd like to get your link to that if you can later.
I don't even
I
think they have an affiliate link.
don't.
So
Oh, but is that bizarre to you when companies like that don't have affiliates? Is that a little weird?
maybe they do. They might. I just have to look into it. But
You,
I'm
I,
kind of. I've had people like, "Hey, what tool should I use? Can you send me a link?" I'm like, "I don't have one. Just go buy it, man. Just get what you need." Like, I'd love to make the commission, but I don't want to stop you either.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I noticed this with some platforms. They have their affiliates like on a separate website. It's
Yeah.
not in the actual website. Anyway, fascinating. All right, so let's get some tips. One
Yeah.
of the things I love about you is that you've got a video marketing program called the No Fear Video Marketing System, and so it almost feels like when I'm talking to you, when I hear you talk, what your goal is always to try to help people get beyond the things that keep them from just doing the work.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like it's not just fear of like being on camera. Sometimes it's like fear of doing it wrong
Yeah.
or fear of it getting some kind of rejection or fear of wasting time. There's all kinds of fears that people would have. And so it feels like a lot of the tools and the search systems that you set up to help people with is to help them just get moving, despite
Yeah.
any fear of that's causing hesitation.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about today when it comes to AI and all this other fun stuff? Because I'm
Yeah.
excited to use it.
So, for me, one of the things, I mean, since AI has really come on the scene, we're talking what, maybe a little over a
Yeah.
year ago when it really kind of exploded and everybody's chat GPT like showed its head and it's all of a sudden everything is AI, it's like all over the place. Um, I love chat GPT. I use it all the time. There's other tools out there that are great also. But when it comes to like planning a video, I think chat GPT is a great way to do it. And I always tell people like the first thing you should do is treat ChatGPT. As eerie and as scary as it sounds, treat it like a person. Like just treat it like an assistant that you're bouncing ideas off of to get an idea for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Oh,
And
bounce ideas. I love that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like, you could go into ChatGPT and just say, hey, I'm looking to make a video. Here's my niche. I'm not really sure what to talk about. Do you have any ideas for me? And ChatGPT is going to spit out a bunch of ideas for you. And then you can narrow those ideas and say, maybe it'll list out 5 ideas for you. And you can reply back, I really like number 2. Can you expand on that a little bit more and maybe give me some subtopics within that? And it'll kick out more,
Mhm.
And so when you're planning your video, it's not like it has to be, I don't know. I just feel like the days of stressing over trying to figure out what to talk about next, those are over. The idea that we have to sit there and grit our teeth are over. We have an assistant that's pretty much free for everybody. If you want the paid version, it's $20, which I do have that. There's some
Yeah.
other
And
added benefits there, but
holy
it's
cow,
like,
what it can do for just $20.
I mean, think about it. Like you can have an assistant for $20 a month.
And legitimately have a conversation. The phone app is hilarious because you're
Yeah.
literally talking and
Yeah,
it's
you know
got
what?
this nice little soothing voice.
How do and see? I've never done that yet. How
Oh
do you
yeah,
do?
it's way cool, man. It is way cool.
Like, I want to know how to do that. Like, I have Chat GPT on here, but is there a way to do that? Because I've
Yeah. Yeah. So if you there should be a little headphones,
yes, I see that.
click on that and you'll see the screen will go dark.
Oh yeah, choose a voice.
Yeah, yeah. Choose a voice. So choose something calm. And so that right there, talk to it. So just to give you an example, I was on the way to a coaching meeting and I had to plan some notes for what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation with chat and said, hey, man, I'm trying to talk to my coaching staff about this thing. Help me organize it in notes. And it put notes together on the way to the freaking meeting. And I sat there with my notes. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Hey, Chat GPT, how are you?
Hey, Mark, I'm doing great. Sounds like you had quite the adventure getting those notes together on the fly.
Oh, that was
What
my
topic are we organizing notes for today?
friend Eddie talking.
Got it. Nice to meet you, Eddie. How can I help you both today?
So I need help. I do videos, and one of the for my business, I create videos for my business, but I'm not really sure what to talk about. I need to create a video. Can you help me come up with some ideas? My niche is internet marketing.
Absolutely, Eddie. Creating video content can be super impactful for your internet marketing business. Here are a few ideas to get you started. 1. How-to tutorials. Show your audience how to use a specific tool or software that's essential for internet marketing. For example, a step-by-step guide on setting up an email marketing campaign. 2. Success stories. Share case studies or testimonials from clients who have achieved great results using your strategies. 3. Common mistakes. Discuss common mistakes people make in internet marketing and how to avoid them. This can position you as an expert and build trust with your audience. 4. Industry news and updates. Keep your audience informed about the latest trends and changes in the internet marketing world. This shows you're on top of industry developments. 5. Tips and tricks. Provide quick tips or hacks that can help your audience improve their marketing efforts. For instance, 5 quick tips to improve your email open rates. 6. Q&A sessions. Answer common questions you receive from your audience. This can be a great way to engage with your viewers directly. 7. Behind the scenes. Show a behind the scenes look at how you run your business.
All right, I shut her up. But I
Dude,
mean, think
I'm writing
about
those
that.
down.
Think about that. I mean,
Mhm.
right there, I mean, I could probably have asked her, to explain more about the Q&A. Like, what are some common questions or things people are having, Same thing
Yeah.
you get when you're chatting it out, but now it's a voice. So, there's so much you can do with it. So you really have to, as eerily as it sounds, treat it like a human and ask it questions.
So let's talk about common mistakes because when chat said common mistakes. I thought that was really helpful because some of us don't know that we're making the common mistakes. We don't know. And but we're like committed, like we believe this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Can you think of one common mistake that people make when, let's say, planning or even just doing videos?
Yeah, the most common mistake is overthinking it. By far the most. Um people get in this idea that everything has to be absolutely perfect, like it has to, they got to think through every little thing. I treated video a long time ago like I'm just having a conversation with another person. I put my mind in that space even when I'm creating a regular video where I'm like recording something so that I can then, you know, um, uh, put together a video that's a little more structured or something. When I'm on there, I'm just kind of remembering that I'm talking to one person, but I don't overthink videos. Some of the best videos that you can put out are the less thought out ones, because here's what happens when you overthink it, you're not being natural when you open your mouth.
Yes.
And that's what happens. You're over, so you start getting in this mode of like, I got to explain it this way, and you're like, you're putting a shackle on yourself, and yet that authentic self is not coming out. And we know what you're all about, authenticity, Eddie. That's where
Yeah.
that's your, you're awesome at teaching that. And so people need authentic today. And I'm not saying don't think it through. I'm not saying don't put a little effort into it. I'm just saying that when you overthink it, it's just as bad as underthinking it,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah. The what you were kind of what came into my mind when you said overthinking, where it's like you're walking away from the whole purpose of doing the video.
Yeah.
You're walking away from what is going to make that video effective. And so this kind of leads to two problems. One is that if you're trying to make your video polished, it's less honest. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what I'm getting from what you're saying.
Yeah.
And there are
And
so many people out there. It seems like they're so proud to announce that they are perfectionists.
yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm getting from what you're talking about. These are, we'll call them pitfalls, if you will.
Perfectionism is the death of your business. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, write that down,
It,
everybody.
it's the
Holy
death of your
moly.
business. If you think you're going to get everything perfect, no, when people boast about that or they brag about, I'm just a perfectionist. No, what you're saying is it's a cover for the fear that you have. You don't want to put out something that's wrong because you're afraid that people might say something negative about it. You know what I mean? And I've just seen perfectionism. It's held me back. It's held other people back. I've seen people spend months and months getting ready to take action because they're a perfectionist. But that's really what they're doing, is they're hiding their fear of getting it wrong and getting ridiculed for it.
You know, this concept of using tools like Descript to take longer form videos and break them down into little pieces, I think should give people the freedom to just turn the camera on and talk.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you right now, I'm already seeing it, being the futuristic
Yeah.
myself. Like once we're done with our
Yeah.
interview today,
Yeah.
like snip, snippet, snippet, snippet. Look at
Yeah.
Mark go, boom, boom, boom. And to me, it's like, well, all the pressure is gone to make this perfectly flowing. It's more fun when it's just, because what I want everybody to experience is what it's like when you and I just start talking about this stuff and nerding out.
Yeah.
And I think that's way more interesting content than us going, okay, Phil, Mark,
Yeah.
what are the
Right. And I mean, here's the thing,
can't even
like,
do it.
there's the balance between preparation and overthinking.
Mhm.
We have to find the balance, because it is good to prepare and like have an idea of what you want to talk about,
Yeah.
but not overthinking it to the point where every word has to be scripted. Now, there are very few people that I know who can script videos and do it without you knowing that it's actually scripted. There's one person I know of that can do that. Jordan Maley, good friend of mine. I don't know if she still does it, but I know she scripts all her videos. I don't know how she does it. She's really good on video. When I watch her, it's like I don't even realize she's doing it. Now, I will say one type of video you could script and get away with is short form video. Because if you're doing a 30-second video and you have you know, a script for that, you're doing it in usually bite-sized chunks. You know what I mean? It might be
Yeah.
one sentence and then you stop it, start another video, and then you edit them all together. So you could get away with it there, but you know, long form video is not dead. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things I'm not sure if I learned about CapCut from you, but one of the things I love about CapCut is I can attempt a short form video even with the script.
Yeah.
But because we're trying to keep the short form video to under 60 seconds,
Yeah.
right? Because in order for it to be a
Right.
reel, it's got to be under 60
Yeah.
seconds. We can't fight that. So one of the things I like doing in CapCut is going, all right, I'm going to make an attempt at a scripted 1 minute video,
Yeah.
and then it just freaking goes to 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm just like, ah. So this is where CapCut can come in and go, all right, well, then I'm going to clip out all those little moments, or even go, okay, well, I'm watching this video here and I'm saying this. It almost looks like I'm saying it twice. Let me just snip out that little piece. And easily 1 minute and 10 seconds becomes, 55. And so this is where, and it almost feels like short form video is best when it is scripted looking and it's just going clip, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. It's not trying to be a performance.
Right. Yeah, short form video you can get away with scripting. There's no question about it. Like it's shorter, it's better. It's I don't want to say it's better, but it's shorter, it's easier to do because it's a very short period of time. But there's different formats of video. It's like you do a live video different than you might do a short form video.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I tend to like getting on and sharing the longer form and the live videos because number one, I'm a talker. I like to talk and I like to hang out with other people that like to talk about the things I like to talk about.
Yeah.
I look at it as like having a conversation with my audience, and it's just me.
All right, so let's get back to the topic of using AI. So we just got some great ideas from chat a minute ago
Yep.
just by listening to
Yep.
him, and you were talking about using AI to prep for videos or to come up with
Yeah.
ideas. What other ways can we use AI to help us just maybe not necessarily to script everything we're going to say, but even help
Yeah.
us kind of formulate our videos and so on?
Yeah. So like once you kind of choose a topic, so one of the things that you can do is ask ChatGPT is as soon as you have your topic, okay, now I need a title for this video, a very curiosity driven, clickbaity title. Now, I always say clickbaity. It doesn't mean it's going to be clickbait, but what that is that kind of communicates to ChatGPT that I want something that's very curiosity driven, And so, like my titles that I get for my videos, I usually run it through ChatGPT. Like I'll come up with something and I'll say, "Here's what I got. How can you make it better?" And then it'll come in and give me, I'll ask it for 10 or 20 different options. And I may piece a couple together because I like this, but I like this. Let's put that together, And so I don't have to be wasting all my brain energy every day on trying to figure out little, all these things. And, it's very important too that you utilize these tools and don't waste your brain energy. Let other tools do it for you so that you can put that focus on, even being better in your content. So,
Yeah, it sounds like what you're saying is like we're using ChatGPT to help us do the things that don't waste brain energy. When I hear you say brain energy, I'm thinking, why don't we just use that energy for the video instead
yeah,
of all the work that goes into prepping the
right,
video?
right. Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, a great example, someone who's a huge YouTuber. I love to follow her. She's an internet marketer as well. She's got a huge audience, but she'll tell you right then and there, like, um, she quit for a year. Like she literally quit for a year and she had a 7-figure business, quit because she was so burned out from all of the obsessing over video analytics and all those little things. And she used to have a spreadsheet where she literally tracked her views, how many likes it got, the growth of the video. And it's like all of that stuff tried to drive in her batty, burned her out, start over evaluating every little thing, and um, yeah, maybe it got her a huge audience, but the truth is it also burned her out in a huge way. And, I would love my audience to continue to grow, with everything that I do, but in the end, I also don't want it to grow to a point where it burns me out. I've been doing this now for 16 years. I love what I do and I want to continue doing it. And I don't want to obsess over every little thing because that's not the kind of business that I want.
So for you, using AI is a means to keep this joyful, energizing, and it's almost like what you're saying is you're allowing AI to take the burdensome areas of
Yeah.
putting together videos.
Imagine if you had an
Yeah.
assistant and you said to the assistant, "Hey, will you do me a favor? Go out, research all the top trends, and come back with a list of things for me that I can talk about that other people are talking about." That's essentially the same thing that ChatGPT will do for you, where before you'd have to hire somebody to go do that for you. And why would you hire somebody to do that for you? Because you want to put your efforts in other things. But now ChatGPT can do that for you. So,
So when you're putting together a video, let's give people a quick little step, and I want to ask about this obsessing over analytics in a minute.
mhm.
But if you were to give people a quick step to utilize ChatGPT to help you find good trends, but I also want to talk about niche a little bit because I know niching is a really difficult thing for
Yeah.
people. So for those of you watching, we're going to get on the topic of niche later. Um, can you give them a quick tip, like on how? I love you said go out and research top trends. Can you be a little bit more specific for somebody who wants to, let's say, really get good at getting some reels done this weekend?
Yeah.
And just kind of have a good put out some good reels that's going to get some good views and maybe even get some traction to their offers.
So it's funny. I literally just did an interview on my podcast 2 weeks ago with Mila Markson,
Okay.
who she is a short form video like phenom. Like she's crushed it with video, short form video. But when I asked her, like, what's your process? Do you know how she gets ideas? Like, how many of you spend time on TikTok every day? How many of you spend on reels every day, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling? We all do it. I go up, I'm like, hey, honey, I'm going to go lay down for a little bit. That's code for I'm going to go lay down and watch some reels.
Yeah.
And I'll lay in bed, just relaxing a little bit. And it's like my form of unplugging for a few.
Yeah.
Whereas you used to turn on the TV. I'm just like, I like to watch a few reels. But what she talked about is when she's scrolling, she's mentally taking note of, hey, this video did really good. Look at the interaction, all that. I'm going to save this and maybe create something of my own in this same similar format. You know what I mean? So I think the biggest thing for researching trends is find a lot of the people that talk about what you like to talk about.
Mhm.
And what are they doing? It goes right back to find out what the top people in your niche are doing and then model it. Don't copy it, model it.
Model it. And I think a lot of people don't realize that even they did that.
Yeah.
It's very likely that the person you have some kind of imposter syndrome with has also done exactly what you just said. They watched someone else.
Yeah.
There's very few people who have broken brand new ground and did something completely different.
Yeah.
Most of the successful people have just in we'll call it copying. I know it's not copying, it's more like modeling. I get that. So people, I really want people to let go of that story as much as possible. I mean, look at ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is they call themselves funnel hackers. And what funnel hackers do is they model what other people do that works
Yeah.
to a very like detailed level in many cases. So let go of that. We can just say goodbye to all that nonsense. Can I ask you what causes a person to get overly focused on analytics? Because I know like for me when I started doing videos, I didn't know any of this stuff. And I felt like my videos were more effective when I didn't care about analytics or anything.
Yeah.
When I started getting into that, I could sense that same burnout happening too.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, I think you have to really figure out, see, this is why it's perfect talking to you because you're the strengths guy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you really have to figure out what your strengths are, but you number one, you also need to tap into like what do you enjoy? I mean, like um personally, like I'm not a guy who likes to focus on trying to get massive organic reach. I'm a paid marketing guy. Like I love doing paid ads. But here's the thing, like my focus has one singular focus. I'll get people on my email list and then I'll work on converting them and getting them to know me. Because to me, spending a little money to get people on my email list is easy. And that's the easiest way. And then the videos that I create will get them comfortable with me. And then I can, sell to them or whatever. And that's my strategy. That doesn't necessarily mean that has to be anybody else's, but so if you go to like my YouTube channel, it's not like I have like 1 million subscribers because my focus is not on subscribers on YouTube because subscribers really are useless on YouTube.
Yeah.
They really are. And they really are. And most people get fooled by the idea that, well, they got a lot of subscribers. They must be making a lot of money or whatever. That doesn't mean a lot. I know people that have gotten 500,000 subscribers. And one day everything just tanked because people stopped watching their videos. And it used to be much more value in a subscriber. It's not anymore because it's all about watch time. That's all they care about. So for me, I will build the asset and then I will push people to my content with my asset, which is my email list.
Um,
I'm kind of doing, I'll flip it around,
yeah, to help the people here that are watching, the internet marketing game is a long game,
Yeah.
is what I'm hearing, and to be patient and to
Yeah.
give yourself time. One of the people I listen to, and I know you listen to Alex Hormozy as well,
Yeah.
is one of the things he talks about, especially in the 2 books that I've read from his $100 million leads, $100 million offers, is that the common theme inside of there is like, try to go as long as you can without selling things.
Yeah.
It's almost like just bring people in and constantly bring people in, support them and get them in your email list and so on. And so like to help people understand what's more important, an email list or a follow or a subscriber count.
Right.
So I'm hearing for you, it's email list.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's always been the center of my marketing universe. It's what's helped me, with my business. And I think the biggest thing is here, and you were mentioning too, like, the analytical, I think you said, why do people get burned out on analytics or whatever? I mean, at least for me, I can only speak for me, but I just know that if I'm spending too much time and stressing over the things that I shouldn't be stressing about, it doesn't become fun anymore. And so if looking at analytics is like one of your strengths, then that would probably be a really good fit for you to do that. And you could, that might not be a bad thing for you. For me, it is. Like I will have no fun if I stress about analytics. That doesn't mean I don't look at them. It doesn't mean that like when I love running Facebook ads. If I run a Facebook ad, you better believe I'm tracking it.
Mm.
I'm looking at what is my cost here? What am I doing here? Yes, I'm looking at it, but man, I do not stress about it. Like I look at it just enough to get what I need, and that's it.
There was a guy by the name of Ed. We're gonna go back to sports briefly, and then I want to come back to another question. So there's a guy by the name of Ed Palubinskas, is one of the best shooting coaches in the world. He came out to Utah to do a private clinic with groups of our basketball players, and he asked them all this question. He said, "When you're shooting, what are you focusing on?" And
Yeah.
all of them said, "I'm focusing on where the ball goes."
Yeah.
And what he said, that's the reason why you are struggling. He said, you should stop focusing on where the ball goes and instead focus on what you're doing.
Yeah.
He was like, you focus on like the mechanics of shooting. If you do what you're supposed to do, the ball will do what it's supposed to do.
Mm.
In other words, what I'm hearing you say is you will look at analytics, but analytics don't become your driving like force of how you create a video or what videos you create. It's more like, what am I supposed to do? Right. I'm doing this shot thing
Yeah.
versus where is it supposed to go?
Right. I mean,
Does that make sense?
yeah, and I talk about the things that I think about. you know? Um,
Mm.
but also that I do talk about the things I know my market needs to hear. I don't want to say that. I definitely do, but
Hmm.
it's got to be fun for me. Like there's a market out there for knitting, but if I started talking about knitting videos, like I would hate that. Like I have, you know, okay, what, like I have no desire to talk about that. So I like to talk about the things that I like to talk about. You hear musicians say this a lot.
Mm.
Like, I'm a huge Metallica fan, like love Metallica, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that they love to say, because they've been trashed over the years because they've made different types of music, and people are like they sold out, they were metal early on, but they they've often said like we make music for what we want to hear, like we make music for us, the kind of music we would want to listen to. That's the kind of music that we make. So some
Okay.
of their other albums that might have been softer than heavy metal, were like, I thought some of their greatest ones, they were just different.
So write that down, everybody. Make videos you want to see.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Let's end on this because I know everybody needs to hear something about this, and then dude, this has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let's talk about niche for a little bit,
Yeah.
briefly. One of the problems I've seen when it comes to helping people drill down their niche is they feel like they do so many things.
Yeah.
They do lots of things, and I don't know what my niche is. And it feels to me like the common belief is that they got to take all the things they do and funnel it down to one thing.
Yeah.
And when they do that, they feel like it alienates the
Yeah.
majority of the things that they can do.
Right.
This is just something I've noticed. I get the feedback I get from the people I work with. I would love to hear your thoughts on how niche works. If you talk about that, great, or just how to help someone niche, because I'm learning
Yeah.
that the more specific we are with what we do, the more traction we get, the more
Yeah.
we build our email list and so on.
Yeah, definitely specificity is important. Like I'll give you an example. Like I would say I'm in the make money online niche.
Mhm.
I teach people how to make money online. Okay. But that's also a broad topic.
Mhm.
You can make money. I mean, let's be honest, the whole entire economy of the United States and probably the world is built on making money online. I mean, when you get right down to it, like the internet is a huge part. Amazon could not exist today. They're making money online. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I like to teach people how to grab down and figure out their niche. So because like for instance, let me give you an example. I have one of my clients that I work with. He is, I never would have thought of this niche at all, but he's got an audience that he's been steadily building, and he's made a lot of sales and got coaching clients. He is a EMT. Okay. His name's Brandon. He might even be watching this. Who knows?
Oh,
But
I know who you're talking about.
yeah, Brandon Hemming.
Brandon, man.
He's in the EMT niche. Okay.
Yeah.
What that is, paramedics. And there is a huge exam that every paramedic has to pass in order to become a paramedic. The problem is they have to pass that exam, and a lot of people struggle passing that exam. So he has created an entire product. I've helped him put together his course. He's just finishing it up, all about how to pass this exam, because he knows how to help people pass the exam. And they've taken it 5, 6, 7 times, and people have struggled. And he starts a coaching program where he works with people to pass the exam, and people pay him a lot of money to do it. You see, so who would have thought? So that's a niche down right there. I'm specifically targeting people who want to be paramedics, who are having a hard time passing the exam. And he
And
provides a
yeah,
solution to help them.
and I know Brandon pretty well, so everyone understands this. That's not the only thing Brandon can do.
No, not at all.
That's like maybe 1/20th of the
He's a
things
genius.
Brandon can do.
He's a genius.
Yeah, and so, but that's not like I think what I'm learning when it comes to this niche concept is we have to let go of thinking that we are one niche.
Yeah.
when we can be multiple niches. Just focus on the one that
Yeah.
I know Brandon has a personal passion for that
Yeah.
niche because that was a personal thing for him. And although Brandon can do multiple things, I see him like just being very passionate about that niche. And
Yeah.
I hope and people understand this, that you can just focus on the one that excites you right now, but it doesn't block you from doing other things in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
And if you can kind of give the people watching here a little encouragement about that, to be like happy with that, because that's what's going to help you get results.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of wrap this up. And thank you again. This topic of niche is a pretty, I'll say, controversial one. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Lots a lot of overthinking.
I think the biggest thing is like when you're choosing a niche, don't just choose it because you can make a lot of money in it. Like choose it because it's something you enjoy. Like I love teaching marketing. I could sit down, I could talk for hours about this stuff. I could talk about it. I could talk about how to create an irresistible offer. You want to learn how to create a lead magnet? I'll show you exactly how to do that. You need help putting your funnel together? I can show you exactly how to do that. I love this stuff. You want to know how to sell on a presentation? I'll show you how to do that all day long because I know how to do it. And I've sold millions of dollars doing it. I love talking about that stuff. You want to choose a niche you love to talk about. Like if you're trying to be a marketer and teaching marketing, but you don't really feel like this is what I really want to talk about, make a shift. Figure out like, what do I love to do? And how can I make a business out of that? Because if you're just doing something for the money, you're eventually that reason will, and I know a lot of people say that's a good reason to get started. Yes. But if you continue down that line of just doing it for the money, you're not going to enjoy it. And I know because my daughter is a great example. She had some opportunities to go out and make even more money doing things. She's like, I don't want to do it. I wouldn't like that. I don't care if I can make more money at it. Like when she was choosing tech school, I was like, hey, look at this career. You could, the stats show you could make double the salary. She's like, I don't care. That's not something I'd want to do. I'm like, man, my daughter, she's teaching me. So you got to do what
Um,
you love so you really enjoy it.
okay, so let's wrap this up on the conversation of AI, because that's what we're here for. And then
Yeah.
what I want everybody to do, I'm going to ask Mark one more question, and then we're going to wrap up because his time is super valuable. This is great and great. I hope you all have enjoyed this so far. Just so you all know, Mark is going to be teaching those who have purchased tickets to a live event that we're going to be doing in Salt Lake City on September 17th. My man Mark is going to be there to walk with you all, with me, Mark, and of course our buddy Ray Higdon. It's going to be an incredible event, a transformative event. But this coming Tuesday, Mark's going to break down a kind of a formula to video marketing. And without getting into so much detail, I just want you all to know that's coming on the 28th. Get your tickets to the live event, whether you're watching it online or watching it in person. You're going to get an invitation. Mark, let's use AI for just a second, and then let's give everybody something really cool. How would, if you had to, right here, right now, come up with a niche for, let's say you're starting a brand new YouTube channel, right? Let's use YouTube as a good example. You're starting a new YouTube channel, and you want to have AI, your new assistant, help you drill down to a niche for this new YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
Like you have lots of other YouTube channels, but this one is going to be like just that special one where you just nerd out or talk about something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
How would you use AI to help you come up with what that niche would be? And then we'll wrap up.
Again, it starts with, in order to get something out of Chat GPT or AI, you have to put something in. It can only do what you ask it to do. So you need to have a general idea of what it is you're passionate about or what niche you want to be in.
Mhm.
So if I say, well, I want to teach people how to make money online, I could go type that into Chat GPT, and then it could drill down that, hey, make money online is general, but there's many ways you can make money online. I could do network marketing. Okay, that's a way to make money online. I could do affiliate marketing. That's a way to make money online. I could sell stuff on Amazon. That's a way to make money online. You see what I mean? So it's like health and wellness, very broad topic. How many niches are within health and wellness? Let's say you want to talk about essential oils, right? That's a niche in and of itself. So you have to have a little bit of an idea before you go to AI. But
Mhm.
then when you have that basic idea, now you can go into Chat GPT or AI and say, here's what I love, what I want to talk about, and the niche that I want to serve. Can you lay out a plan for me, Chat GPT, of what are the top questions or concerns that people have when using essential oils? You know what I mean? What are some of the benefits of using essential oil? You know what I'm saying? Like you can really like you drill it down, and that's where the research comes. But you got to go in there with some basic idea of what you want. And I would tell you, from a research standpoint, dig deep in your own mind and determine what is it you're passionate about. What do you really want to do that can help and bring a product or a service to the marketplace to help people? Because
Yeah,
that's
and
really
and
ultimately what it's about.
yeah, and I'm hearing you say, forget about whether or not you think that's going to make money.
Yes.
Just set that little horse free,
Yeah.
because that's not going to help you ultimately make money. It's
I'm
more
telling
kind
you, like, I want to make as much money as I possibly can. I want to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. But if I am miserable in the process, I'm going to hate money after a
yeah.
while. And look, I know people like to bag on it, especially in the entrepreneurial space. Oh, money doesn't make you happy, but it sure does pay the bills, you know? But the truth is, like, money will not make you happy. Like, it's not going to. I could have $1 million, but if I'm
Yeah.
miserable making it, I'm not happy. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, it'll pay the bills. Yes, it'll do all these nice things. But so my point is go out and make $1 trillion doing what you love. That's going to be more fulfilling than making $1 trillion of something you don't love.
Yeah, I've discovered when you're making money doing what you love, you just want to use that money to help other people do that too.
Yeah.
I find when I meet people like you and Ray and the rest of us, it's like we're in it to help people experience something special, and the money just funds that mission. It's kind of
But
what it
you
feels
know
like.
what? Eddie, you're so great at that because the whole idea of helping people tap into their strengths is helping them figure out exactly what I just said.
Mhm.
And that's why, honestly, like I will tell you right now, you should absolutely go to this event. I'm going to be there live. I'd love to shake your hand. Eddie's going to be there. Ray's going to be there. This is going to be a great event. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I think it'd be totally worth it. You're investing in yourself and nothing. Look, we're here on, Facebook. We're out here doing this thing. But the truth is, there's nothing like, there was nothing like being able to shake Eddie's hand and being able to sit and talk. We sat out in the hallway and talked for a little while. We had a great conversation and just great talk. But now I know Eddie. Like I seen him, gave him a hug, shook his hand, talked in person, and it's a whole different ball game. It's more real. And this online thing needs to be more real to you. You need to go to events. You absolutely must. I will tell you right now, if you want to do this online marketing thing and you want to learn how to sell your products and services, if you're not going to events, no way. Find one person who's made it in this online world that doesn't get out and network and meet other people and go to events. You'd be hard pressed to find it. You'd be hard pressed. I just don't believe it's possible. You gotta invest in yourself. Eddie's a great. If you love Eddie, and I know you do, because it's why you're here. I love Eddie. That's why I'm here. Like you,
Eddie's
you
pretty
want
cool.
to get to this. You want to get to this. So definitely come out and check it out.
By the way, I just Mark, and I'm gonna get your support here. I know this. A friend of mine who's oh, by the way, I have a friend who has a niche, but he has no interest in doing it as a business, but he has a niche. He is very good at getting on game shows.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how he does it, but he can get on game shows like crazy. He's been on so many game shows. And I asked, and he sent me an email just this morning about a new game show that's coming out based on your ability to win people over.
Really?
He told me about it. I'm like, dude, you got any tips? He's like, yes. And he gave me very specific steps. And I'm just like, brother, I want to teach you how to build a
That's my
business
second
around.
strength. Maybe I should go on it.
No, I'll send you the email, man. Anyway, so it's pretty cool how that whole concept works of being around people. This is what we're about. We aren't about locking ourselves in these cool background and offices and all these things. It's being out there and making a difference in people's lives in person. So, Mark, thank you so much for doing this, and Man, we gave you all a lot of great content, and I would love for you all to, of course, follow Mark. Share some thoughts in the comments. What did you get from this? When you were talking about using AI to help, when we're talking about using AI to help us niche down,
Yeah.
I'm going to play with this live and show people some examples on how this would work. But I hope you all got a lot of great value from this. Of course, get your tickets to the live event. And by getting your tickets now, you can hang out with me and Mark on the special training we're doing next week, next Tuesday. Holy cow, the 28th. We're almost there.
Yep. This Tuesday.
What an incredible thing it's going to be, Mark. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Again, a pleasure. I've got so many notes I'm going to start playing with.
Love it, man. Appreciate everybody.
All right. Thank you all, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you on the next video. All right.